Hi, Claudia here from Create with Claudia. Thanks so much for stopping by. Today I'm going to be showing you two things. One, I'm going to be making a block, but it's based on my April Island Batik challenge. I'm an Island Batik ambassador in 2021, and each month we have a challenge to do. And this month was a free challenge, so you could make whatever you wanted. And since I like making quilts, that's what I did. This quilt is called Bubble Tea. I really like the way it turned out. It's a lot of fun, and it highlights fabrics. At the beginning of each year for Island Batik ambassadors, they send you a box of fabric and other really great goodies. Part of that box was a strip set of Citrus Sun, which is a line that was out in February of 2021. It's still out there in stores. Gorgeous line. It has yellows and greens and blues, all kinds of really pretty colors, a real pretty palette. They also sent me these coordinating fabrics, which is this color here. This is from their foundations. These are basics, and this is called Seedling. Gorgeous, vibrant, real spring green. It's got a little bit of yellow in it. And then Pine Cone, which is that darker green. So I used those in conjunction with that strip set and came up with Bubble Tea. In my machine to quilt this, I used Schmetz Needles, and then for the batting, I used Hobbs Batting. I used their Cotton Premium. It's a really nice weight for this. I like the way it drapes and it hangs. I also wanted to show you the back of this quilt, so I flipped it over for you. What I used with a lot of the remaining strips was I put it on the back and I pieced them all together. These are all those 2.5 inch strips from the Citrus Sun strip set I got. So you can really see all of the beautiful, beautiful fabrics. There are so many different colors, I couldn't even use them all in the block. Here you can see where I zoomed in on them a little bit, just so you can see them a little bit more up close and see all the different varieties in that fabric line. Today we're going to be making a block based on my Bubble Tea quilt. I don't actually have a pattern for this. It's going to be basically one of these units where you have the bubble in the middle, and then I'm going to have a border of all of those squares of that gorgeous Citrus Sun line. So stick around and see how I made the block. I'd love it if you hit that subscribe button. I always love new subscribers. Thank you so much. I am on social media at Create with Claudia, where you can find all sorts of things. And if you want more information about this quilt and a little bit more about that fabric, head over to my website, www.createwithclaudia.com. Thanks so much for stopping by, and enjoy the video. So here's my Bubble Tea quilt laying down. You can see it a little bit better. We're going to do today, we're going to take one of these squares like so. This quilt is made up of these blocks here, and then sashing of the strip set that I got. But what I thought would be fun is to actually make one block, like a little mini quilt, or just a block, whatever you want to call it, and take the center part, the circle, and then the square, and then add the strip set around it, and that would make a cute little wall hanging. So that's what we're doing today. All right, to make the Bubble Tea block, this is what we're going to need. You need one square of fabric, cut 8.5 inches, and that's going to be your background for the center. You'll need a small piece for that circle, the small circle in the bubble, and then you'll need a larger piece for the larger circle in the bubble. You are also going to need, and I've already put this on because I'm not going to show you how to do that because everybody uses different fusible webbing. It needs to be paper-backed fusible webbing, great for applique, that kind of thing. That way you can write on it, because we're going to trace our template onto the back of this for the shape that we need for that circle. And I did that for this one as well. So again, when you're ready for that step, just use a paper-backed fusible webbing, and adhere it to the fabric that you want to use for your shape, that circle, in the method that the manufacturer describes. And that's all we need then for that center part with the circle, and then we just need 22.5 inch squares, and that's where that strip set came in really, really handy. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is we do need to do that applique, and again, that is really easy to do. So like I said, I've already done that. I've already adhered that fusible webbing, paperback fusible webbing, and now I need to get my template and trace it. So for this one, the circle diameter is about 5 3/4 inches. I did not have anything, so I used this bowl from my kitchen, which works out just fine. You're just going to put it on there, grab a pencil, make sure it's all the way around, and just trace. That's it, super easy, and we're going to cut that out. Now for the little one, it measures about 1.5 inches in diameter for that little circle, and I luckily had this it's a template, and that's what I used for that. If you can find something, I do have templates on my website for both of these shapes, but heck, if you have something in your kitchen that you can use, or you know, whatever you have around, you could use that too. So I'm going to choose the 1.5 inch and just make my circle, and I'm going to cut those out. And you're just going to cut out on that drawn line. I will say the bigger one is easier to cut out than the small one. Just try to get it as much as circular as possible. Okay, so there are my two shapes. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them, center them on here. And I'm just going to show you, and then what I'll do is I'll again follow the manufacturer's instructions and adhere that to your background square that was cut 8.5 inches. But you want to center it, and that's always a little tricky. So what I do is I just finger press really quickly. I'll finger press this in half. It gets pressed out once you put on your applique shape, it gets pressed out. So I'll do that one way, and so you can sort of see that line hopefully, and then the other way, making sure everything's lined up nice and even. Alright, so there you can see hopefully those folds. And then I will fold this in half. And here you'll see if you cut it out really well, and I think I did okay. I'll take that. Fold it in half one way, and then fold it in half the other way. And then what you're going to do is line up those folds on all four sides. Like so. You're going to have to move it a little bit. And then what we'll do is we're going to take off the backing. And I'm going to show you a trick that actually was from a YouTube viewer. And it was like my mind was blown when I heard this trick. So the trick that the viewer gave me, and I guess this is common knowledge. I had no idea. How many years have I been picking and pulling at this stuff, tearing the stuff, this backing away. And all you do is you take a needle and very gently score it and pull it apart. And it comes right off. You want to peel that backing off. Again, it depends on the kind of fusible webbing you're using. But if you're using the kind like this where it peels off, which I'm guessing most of you are, but I don't know, that is the trick. If you don't know it, it's one of those tricks that's like an eye-opener. It's just so funny. I'd never thought of that before until, so I thank her always for that trick. It saved me so much time and broken fingernails, even though I don't have long fingernails. So anyway, what I'm going to do is this needs to be pressed on. Once I've had it perfectly centered, you can see where I have those fold lines that are matched up. I'm going to take this over and press it. Alrighty, so this is all pressed. It looks nice and neat. It's nice and centered, and you can see where the lines are pretty much pressed out. And then we're going to add this little guy, and again we'll do that same trick. And you don't want to push too hard with the needle or you'll tear that the sort of glue or the adhesive that is stuck to the back of the fabric. Okay, and then we're going to position this, and I put it in one of the corners, whichever one, and I put it about like 1/2 inch away from the edge. That is up to you. I just like that sort of off-kilter look. And we're going to do the same thing according to your manufacturer's instructions. Press that on, and I will be right back. Alright, so here we are. It's all done. It's cooled. It is now ready to be made into the block. The only thing you can add, and let me just pull out my quilt so you can see that. If you want, maybe you can see it here better, I did add an applique, a decorative stitch around the circles, around both circles. That is entirely optional. I just thought that might be really helpful. Number one, I think it looks nice. It adds a little interesting decorative touch. And number two, it adds a little bit of security. Although this stuff is stuck on like glue, sometimes with quilts, especially depending on how you're going to use them, it might, you never know, over time, over washings, that sort of thing, it might fray at the edges. So I like to add that, but you don't have to. It's completely up to you. Okay, so now comes the fun part with this block. We are ready to add that sashing border. Or I'm sorry, the outside border. And what I did is I took that strip set and I cut 2.5-inch pieces and tried to get it a little bit of ombre. And hopefully this works out. I mean, this block is about as easy as it gets. Now this is not from the Citrus Sun line. This is actually called Shark, and it's one of their basics, the Island Batik foundations. But I like that blue. It sort of adds a little kick to it. Okay, so now I've laid out how I want those squares to be. It doesn't look like it's going to fit, but it will. Bottom line is, what you need to do now is you're going to piece all these squares together, but you're going to piece them together in an order. So basically I would do these sides first. So I would do these 4 first, piece those together in a row in order, and then attach them to this side of the quilt, to the quilt block, and then repeat on this side. It's very, like I said, this is a very easy block to put together. So once that's done, then I would piece these longer edges together, and sew that this one on this side and this one on this side. But first I'm going to go ahead and sew those two side units together, and I'll show you how that looks. Alright, so here it is. The two sides have been put together, and now it's time to sew these other rows, these longer rows, together and attach those to the block, and then we'll be done. And we will have a 12.5-inch, hopefully, fingers crossed, bubble tee quilt block. Alrighty, so there's my bubble tee block. You can put it in any way you want. It's got that little ombre effect from that strip set. It's just a fun, quirky little block, and actually it's not that little. It's 12.5 inches when it's done. And it's ready to either be made into a mini quilt, which is what I'm going to do, or you can put it into a bigger quilt. And you could use this as the sashing, although you'll have to adjust it a little bit, because if you had, let's say, 2 blocks, you'd have 2 rows of sashing, which would be fine. But if you look here at my quilt, let me just grab that, if I can get it to go, you can see how it's just 1 row that I used for the sashing. But you could definitely use 2 rows too if you like that look, be a little more scrappy looking. Okay, so here you have it. One more look at my bubble tee quilt for my April Island Batik Ambassadors Challenge. And then the block we made today, it's my bubble tee quilt block. It's 12.5 inches. It's lots of fun. It's kind of whimsical. You can read all about this quilt, and you can get the free pattern for this quilt block over on my website, www.createwithclaudia.com. I'd love it if you hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much. I always love new subscribers. And I am on social media at Create with Claudia. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.